honestly have no idea how many jars I went through. This really does work for all skin types, including oily, combo, normal, dry, and even sensitive skin. It is officially my most used holy grail, can't live without moisturizer. I don't know what it is, I just love it. Minasan konnichiwa, this is Tina and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my most used moisturizers of all time. If that sounds like your thing, then please go ahead and channel登録しちゃってください。しちゃいなよ。So just a few years back, even here on YouTube, I feel like I was often talking about the fact that there weren't that many kind of holy grail favorite moisturizers out there for me. And whenever people ask me like, what moisture do you recommend? I was often stumped because honestly, I was like, there's not that many that I truly love. But over the last year or so, I feel like I received blessings from the moisturizer gods and really did meet and fall in love with so many great moisturizers. But I felt like I hadn't really done a video where I put them all together in one to introduce to you guys. So I thought, why not talk about the moisturizers that I've used the most in my entire life? Not to be dramatic, but it's true. And the ones I consistently love to have in my collection. Before we get started, I generally do have dry skin, so I feel like a lot of the moisturizers may be leaning towards more richer formulas, although there's definitely some in here that I tend to like using during the summertime and stuff, so it's definitely going to work for those who have oily and combo skin too. So I think I'll go from the lightest to richest formula. First, I have the Hadarabo Shirojin Premium Cream. So this one is actually the only Japanese product in this list of favorite moisturizers. I definitely think K-Beauty has a better grasp on producing really good moisturizers. Even recently I went on @Cosme, which is a huge ranking site for J-Beauty, and a lot of the moisturizers that are ranked at the top are emulsions, or when they're creams, they tend to be high-end luxury brands like Lancome, Kiehl's, Cosme Décolleté, versus K-Beauty having a lot of great yet affordable options. So yeah, personally, I tend to go for Korean brands when it comes to moisturizers. But this one was my most used moisturizer when living in Japan. I honestly have no idea how many jars I went through because obviously I didn't bring my empties with me from my time in Japan. But the Hadarabo Shirojin toner and cream were just my go-tos. I did have other products that I used here and there, but those two products were just consistently there, and especially during the warmer months, I tended to like using them. The reason why I liked them is because they do have still a really light yet hydrating texture, and they do have the benefits of helping evening out and brightening your skin tone. When I lived in Japan, I did work outside most of the time, so I definitely was a lot more tan and got a lot more sun exposure than I do now. So I always liked it to incorporate something that was going to help that pigmentation and even and brighten my skin tone, which the Shirojin Premium range from Hadarabo is just a really, really affordable option that you can incorporate in your everyday. So the texture of this one is not a true gel cream texture, but the level of texture that I like. It is light on the skin and absorbs quickly, but it does help to retain that moisture and hydration throughout the day. The whole Hadarabo brand, if you don't know already, does focus on hyaluronic acid. It's just their key ingredient that they include in pretty much every product. And this one does include 2 weights of hyaluronic acid for that hydration. It also includes tranexamic acid and vitamin C as those ingredients to help brighten, even out your skin tone, as well as a derivative of licorice root extract to help with inflammation and soothing the skin. As I said, I did like to use this one for warmer months myself, but having dry skin, I still needed something that did help to retain that moisture, which this one did brilliantly. And it does also wear really well underneath makeup too. Japan does tend to have added fragrance compared to Korean brands, although this one is completely fragrance free. It is also stated by the brand to be colorant, mineral oil, paraben, and ethanol free. It is also great value. In Japan, it retails for about 1,500 Japanese yen, and unlike a lot of other brands that get marked up like crazy on global sites, this one does still stay about the same. So usually around $15 US, under 20 at least. So still affordable, and it is 50 mils, which is the average size of a moisturizer. I know it seems small because it is in a jar, but it's actually just because it is a very simple packaging. Like there's literally no excess packaging. That's exactly what you get. I have also tried the other Hadarabo moisturizers like the regular Gokujin, the regular Shirojin, Shidojin, but personally I feel like I like the Shidojin Premium the most because it is still a little richer on the moisture, but it does have those brightening and evening ingredients. Normal and combo skin types would probably love it most, especially if you do have concerns of hyperpigmentation, and if you have oilier skin but have those concerns, the regular Shidojin one is a little bit more lightweight. Next, we have the Revectin Lotus Cream. So this one is an absolute household staple since both myself and my partner Logan love this moisturizer. Between the two of us, we have definitely been through our fair share of moisturizers. I think we're on tube 5 at the moment, which I feel like speaks to the versatility of it since we do have different skin types, yet it works really well for the both of us. A lot of you guys do agree and have confirmed for me that this really does work for all skin types, including oily, combo, normal, dry, and even sensitive skin. Some of you guys may already know, but Revectin is kind of going through a rebrand and renewing a lot of their product packaging, and in that process the Lotus Water Cream has had a renewal as well. This is the old packaging that used to be called Lotus Water Cream, and then this is the new one called just Lotus Cream. So I don't know if this new version is actually on the official site as of yet, so here we go. It's a quick sneak peek of the new version. I do like the updated simplified packaging and the fact that it does have those key ingredients on the front. I feel like that's really nice. And then also the tip is a pop off lid now instead of how the old one was a twist off. I personally like this way better. I just feel like it's a lot more easy to deal with and less messy. So that's a nice packaging update that they've done. And don't worry, since I was of course in love with the formula, I was a little bit worried that they changed it, but I did confirm with the team and the formula is the exact same. It's just a renewal in name and packaging. So I do usually use the Revectin Lotus Cream in between seasons personally. So usually during spring and autumn time where my skin's like not super parched dry, but it's not quite hot yet. And this one does have a really nice kind of medium body texture, which is a little bit richer compared to your classic gel creams. Although it is still really lightweight, and I feel like it has a lot of water content in this moisturizer. So when you're applying it, it kind of feels like there's just this splash of hydration on your skin, and it does really absorb quick without leaving a film on top of the skin. The formula contains 75% of lotus flower extract known to self-purify, as well as Aquasil, which helps to hydrate and retain moisture. Being Revectin, of course, it is vegan and cruelty-free and doesn't have added fragrance either. Also, they are just very accessible. I feel like it's a brand that you can find on most global and online retailers for a pretty affordable price as well. Revectin's official US site actually created a personal page of Tina's picks where you can see all of my favorite products from Revectin, so make sure you check that out. On the page you will find the Revectin Lotus Cream as well as all the other products that I love from Revectin, which if you've been watching me, you know there's quite a few. Once again, this is the moisturizer that I recommend to everyone and anyone whenever I am unsure of what to recommend. Next, I have the P-Calm Keto Cream. If you haven't heard me talk about this moisturizer already, seriously, where have you been? It is officially my most used holy grail, can't live without moisturizer. I don't know what it is, I just love it. And out of the 5 moisturizers I have today, I feel like it is definitely the middle ground in terms of moisture and hydration, since it is the moisturizer that I feel like I can use all year round, no matter what season, because it does have that perfect balance. Light lotion cream texture that is light enough to wear even in warmer months, but still rich enough to use when it is cold and dry, even for my dry skin. Perfect use for both AM and PM. I just feel like there's not that many moisturizers out there that I can use like no matter what the season, no matter what the environment. And I can also use this one even if my skin is a little bit unstable. So if it's a little breaking out or it's a little itchy or a little bumpy, I feel like I can still use this one and my skin doesn't freak out, unless it's like a full-on allergic reaction, which I did have recently. In that moment, I didn't use this one. I used more of like a repair balm. All in all, other than like a very severe random allergic reaction, I can use this moisturizer whenever I want. This one does have many skin loving ingredients, including squalane for moisture, cica to soothe the skin, as well as glutathione and bisabolol to help brighten that skin tone. They also include something called Cato Barrier Complex that P-Calm came up with that includes ceramides, cholesterols, and fatty acids. So it really is a nice barrier strengthening moisturizer that I can rely on consistently. Never have I ever gone through so many of the same moisturizers so quickly. I have gone through 5 tubes, I guess. I feel like I had more. Regardless, it is also a generous 80 ml tube, which tends to be a little bigger than the average moisturizer size, and it is also vegan, cruelty-free, and fragrance-free. And it has been recommended for all skin types, even sensitive and acne prone, and I actually do have a project coming up soon where you can score this moisturizer and some other goodies for a really, really good deal. So, you know, make sure you keep your eye out for that too. Really excited about it. And then the last two are actually from the same brand. Wow, they really got me with moisturizers. The first one being the Klairs Midnight Blue Calming Cream. So this one isn't actually a moisturizer that I use on a everyday basis. It's more like a special care moisturizer. And I did recently introduce it in my products I can't live without, which it is exactly that. Especially when I need to heal and protect my skin overnight, this is the moisturizer that I use. The number one instance when I use this one is actually when I shave my face. So I apply a very generous layer of this one, which truly creates a protective film on top of my skin, allowing it to be nourished and heal overnight. I can actually feel that layer even in the morning when I go to wash it off. Like I can tell when I'm like rinsing it off that it does have this barrier on my skin, and it does always leave my skin so supple, soft, and strengthened the next day. It uses guaiazoline and centella to help calm and soothe the skin. Therefore, it can be great for use after sun exposure as well. So during summertime, if you spend a little bit too much time in the sun, this is a great one to pop on that night. And it does also include glycerin, ceramides, and peptides to nourish and strengthen the skin barrier. Due to it creating almost a film on top of the skin, I do generally just recommend for use at nighttime. But I feel like there's no other moisturizer out there, at least that I've tried, that mimics the same effects as this one. I feel like all skin types could definitely benefit from having this kind of rescue balm product, and it is especially good for those who have sensitive skin. Many of you also asked if whenever I use this one, I actually put it on top of a moisturizer or use it in place of a moisturizer. And personally, I just use it in place of a moisturizer, but I feel like you can use it on top like a sleeping mask as well. I know Logan also loves using this one since he also shaves, and whenever his skin is feeling irritated, he tends to reach for this one, hence why we have been through many tubes of it. And the last one we have today is the Klairs Rich Moist Soothing Cream. Talk about another simple yet great moisturizer. This is also another one that I consistently love to have around and one open ready to use, although I do tend to use this one when I'm feeling a little drier and need that extra moisture. But that doesn't mean that it is one of those thick, heavy moisturizers. Of course, when you first dispense it, it does have quite a thicker, rich texture compared to the other moisturizers, but it's almost like a cushiony, buttery feel that still has great spreadability and doesn't leave that unwanted film on the skin. The key ingredient is beta-glucan, which can help to soothe and moisturize the skin, and it does have a bunch of other skin benefiting ingredients like jojoba seed oil, centella, ceramide, sodium hyaluronate, rice bran extract, aloe leaf extract, like the list does go on. And when I don't want to think about what moisturizer to use for the PM or in winter times, this is the one that I just automatically reach for. Again, it is vegan and cruelty free. I don't think it has added fragrance, although I feel like it has some essential oils from memory, although you really can't smell it. Like, I don't know if it's added for fragrance or not, because to me, it doesn't smell like anything. And that is it, I guess. That is my most used moisturizers of all time. I feel like being someone who does use many different products and have the opportunity to try out so many different products, when I see so many empties of these same products, I know I love it. And especially when it comes to moisturizers, it used to be so hard for me to find the one, and now I have so many of the one that makes me so happy. Please let me know if you would want to see this with other product categories too, because I feel like I do the yearly like best moisturizers, best sunscreens of that year, but I don't think I've really done like best of all time for most product categories. So please let me know if you do want to see that. If you have a little more time to spend with me, make sure you check out another one of my videos here. You can go ahead and click it, check it out, enjoy, relax, and I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Bye! Bye!